All right, guys, it's really nice to be back. Good evening.
Good evening.
2 weeks ago, I gave a speech, The Joy in Life. I talked about how it was the month of October, a month where I was born, where I start reflecting on my life and who I am. And I realized that something that I feel really describes me is that I am a person who's full of joy, full of happiness. Happiness is tonight's theme. And I was really glad that it coincides, that I can share about my happiness. So 2 weeks ago, I talked about 3 things that made me happy. I gave you 3 F's. Do you recall?
Food.
Food is number 1, yes, food.
Family.
Family, of course.
Freedom.
And freedom. Those 3 F's, food, family, and freedom. Those things give me joy, they make me happy, and I am so glad that I have those 3 things in my life. So what I said about food last time, 2 weeks ago, was that food makes me happy because it tastes so good. All of us know the joy that we get when we're hungry and we satisfy our cravings with food. We experience something that is awesome. God gave us taste buds so that we can experience the joy that there is in different tastes. The sweet, the savory, the salty, the spicy, even the sour. Sometimes we like that. But what I've discovered recently, in the more recent years, actually more recent weeks, is the joy of eating food that I've cooked. Do you ever cook?
Yes.
Be honest.
Yeah.
Sometimes, or does your mom cook? Does your wife cook? Does your sister cook? Okay, just kidding. But not really. To be honest, I never started cooking until I came here to Saudi Arabia 3 years ago. But I didn't really start cooking until about 1 or 2 months ago. So it's a very recent discovery for me, to discover that you can be so creative, you can make something beautiful when you cook. But more than creating something, the joy that I receive when I eat the food that I've made with my own hands is something that I am so glad to have experienced more recently. And I'm very thankful for that. It makes me very happy. Another thing that makes me happy, that gives me joy, is my family and my friends. 2 weeks ago, I told you about a story about what really happens between me and my siblings when we're in a car. It's just a mess, to be honest. We're so different from one another. My older brother hates music, and I love music. So what happens when you put both of us in a car together? It's not a crash. My brother will turn off the music, I'll turn it on, off, on. And he's like, Christy, who's driving? I'm like, yeah, you're driving, focus on driving. And I will say, I will just entertain you with my music. He's like, just enjoy the music. We don't need your voice, we don't need your dancing, just stop, okay? Khalas. Actually, he doesn't know khalas. But I would like to think that that's what he would say. So when you put us together, we're very different people. But there's joy in that because I know that God put us together for a reason. We're different, but still one family. And that gives me joy because we can still celebrate the love that we have for each other. And I was also thinking about my sister. My sister who's also very different from me. My sister is my older sister. She's 4 years older, and I had always looked up to her. She's like a mother figure to me. She took care of me, she helped me with my homework, she did so much for me, and I always admired her. I never really thought of her as my friend, though. She was always my older sister. And it was only until I came to college, when I became an adult, and she was also an adult, 4 years older, that I realized that actually we can be on the same level. I remember distinctly, there was one conversation we had, and she was being vulnerable with me. She told me what she had issues with, her struggles, her fears. And that, to me, was amazing, because she was always someone I looked up to. And she told me, Christy, you're my sister, and you're my friend. And that's when I realized we were on the same level, and she and I were more than just friends, we're sisters, and God gave us to each other. And we make each other happy, and we can experience that joy of being sisters and family members together. The last thing that gave me joy was freedom. What kind of freedom, guys?
The ability to think.
The ability to think, but the ability to choose. Freedom in the sense of free will. And that freedom to me was something that I realized can control and dictate how I'm going to experience life. I was going to choose for myself to be happy. And in the end, I was happy. Sometimes I get to eat food, I choose to eat what I want, I'm very happy. Sometimes I spend time with my family, and I'm very happy to do that. I can talk with them, it's awesome. And the last thing is, I get to choose whatever I want to feel. And so do you. You can smile anytime you choose. Let me see your smiles. Ew, not funny. Try again. Show me your smiles, right? All of us can be happy. All of us can experience that joy. It can be a superficial joy of eating good food, or it can be a deep joy of being with our family and knowing that that's what really matters. Freedom, family, food.
Good.
Thank you.